Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to VinnyTortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at VinnyTortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
Replay Guitar Exchange is your premier independent guitar store. Being independent is good. With all of the major brands, including new, vintage, and pre-owned, you can find the guitar, bass, amp, or accessory you are dreaming of. From vintage to the newest models, Replay Guitar Exchange can help you find that perfect piece. They have industry veteran expert staff, all players like you down to the owner. You aren't just getting a great guitar, you're getting the Replay difference. Find them online at replayguitar.com and find your dream guitar today.
Hey ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that rock shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, lace-up tees, and tube top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsdesigns.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook for special offers and custom orders. That's sasspantsdesigns.com, sasspantsdesigns.com. Sass Pants will make you the envy of the party.
Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World Tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com.
Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
You kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games, don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
See, son, old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum with a lot of life.
Hello, you crazy dirt fucker!
Party time!
Tell you about. You see you're blue, there's nothing to do. Well, riff-raff's here, let's barbecue.
Yeah! Hello, Hollywood! Hello, world! Hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and as always, good to be seen. Izzy Presley! It is another fucking podcast. Have a great show lined up for you tonight. Live on the FaceTime, I've got my good buddy Randy Engebritson. We know him as, yes, Freaky Fucking Useless from Flip and from Hairball. And coming up in the second half of the show, I have an amazing half-hour-long taped interview I did with the one and only from KISS and Grand Funk Railroad, Mr. Bruce Kulick, kicking off KISS Week here on my podcast network, so to speak. Tomorrow, actually, no, Thursday. Thursday will be my counting down the non-makeup records. And I'll have Priya Panda from Diamonds in studio giving her list as well. And then tomorrow night, I get to meet Paul Stanley, going down to the book signing tomorrow night. Rather excited about that. Make sure you hit all the great sponsors. And then follow social media, Real Izzy Presley, all the way across the board, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And, of course, the show page is Another Effing Podcast. Buy shirts. And if you don't want my stupid shirts, just send me money, izzypresley@yahoo.com. Very simple. And I'm just going to bring him in right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Engebritson.
Hi.
How's it going, buddy?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you sound fucking great, man.
I got these iPod buds in my head.
Dude, they work fucking awesome for this.
Yeah, when you sent me the email, you're like, wear your Apple earbuds. And I was like, fuck that. I'm going to wear my kick-ass Bose Bluetooth motherfuckers. And I was like, oh, shit, he meant so I could talk to him.
That is right. Because I had Luke Carl on a couple weeks ago, and he had the Bluetooth earpiece thing, and it sounded like shit. You know, it's like you get those Apple headphones, they sound fucking great, you know?
Yeah, whatever works, right?
I know. So you've got news, and we're going to start right off with that. And bear with me while I play devil's advocate / mommy here with this question. Okay. You're now we're in a band that was touring all over the upper Midwest, sometimes the world, wherever you guys, flying out to a lot of cool places, making some decent money. And you said, fuck it, I'm going to quit and move to Vegas. What say you?
It's hard to wrap it up in a nutshell, but
we've got time.
It's not really that mysterious. I mean, I've for people who know me, they know my real passion lies in playing guitar.
Yeah.
And the two most successful bands I've been in have been Flip and Hairball, and I've been the bass player. Hey,
right.
I love the Ace Frehley. I just noticed the Ace Frehley wig or mask.
Oh yeah, you see that?
I got to put my gene behind me.
So right.
Yeah. So I don't know. Things in my life have always kind of gone in these like 8-year-ish shifts. It's kind of cosmic, but. And I've always lived my life by just my gut and going by my gut all the time. And the way you set that up is true. It's really effed up that I'm leaving this kind of money and this kind of, Hairball's insane. It's a monster. It's never going to die. And, I could keep doing that the rest of my life or whenever the bottom drops out, it might happen eventually. It may not, but I want to try something else, man. That's really the bottom line. I hate the Minnesota winters with a passion. Mm-hmm. And I've just known too many people that have said, screw it, and sold everything and gotten a U-Haul and either moved to Vegas or LA and have done really well for themselves. And it's scary as fuck, dude. I'll tell you that. It's like, it is. Getting rid of all the unnecessary everything. And then, but, as the memes say, live life as if your last day and et cetera, et cetera. Faith and I both really feel like it's lining up and it's working out for us to make this move.
Well, see, and I didn't watch the video, and I did that on purpose. I was going to watch it, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'll have them on. And we can actually talk about it instead of just, seeing the video and getting the light explanation. I wanted to get you on and,
right.
kind of find out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, for those who don't know what you're talking about, I did a live video last week where I explained everything that was going on. And that was mostly for Hairball fans and the people
Gotcha.
in that thing where, I wanted them to know there's no bad blood. There's no animosity. It happened very organically, and it happened when it's supposed to have happened. And Brian, the new player, Brian Hellenbeck, is that his name? Do you know him?
Yeah, I think that's his last name.
And I've said it twice now, probably wrong, but super cool guy, great player. It fits the band perfectly. He's been friends with those guys, so it was really seamless. And my pay is tapering down over the summer until I'll be out of the fold. They answered my request for a severance package, and
that's
and
cool.
Everything went swimmingly, and I hope to have Happy over this week actually to record vocals on an Aerosmith song I recorded. So it's really all good.
Well, that's
that's
cool.
what that video was about.
Okay.
I didn't really want to get too much into what our plans were for the future, but it was just kind of here's me telling all my 5,000 friends, what's going on. So
right, and so Vegas is the destination, correct?
Yeah.
What was it about Vegas?
I really don't know, man. it's just been kind of a pull. That part of the country has always been a pull for me. I remember one time we were on tour with Flip, and I usually slept in the back lounge of the bus. No one hung out back there. And I remember feeling really shitty for a long time. And we were on like a 16-hour drive or something. And I slept. And I woke up and the blinds were down. And I just had this sense of peace about me that was like really weird and overwhelming. And I opened up. I didn't know where we were. I didn't know where we were going. I lifted up the thing, and it was just the Southwest, man. It was, and it just fucking made me feel amazing. And, Vegas isn't about the Strip.
Right, right.
It's a really fucking cool town with a lot of really cool history and cred. And I want to tap into that, man. I want to tap into the outside of the Strip, and we plan on putting a road band together too. That's gonna tour a cover band of some sort, but we want to get out there and put an original band together and knock some shit around.
Well, when you need that rhythm guitar player,
hey,
I'm
man,
only 4 hours away, brother.
I'll be talking to you about that for sure. This is this is all happening really fast. So
no, that's the best way.
Saying things that are in my mind as ideas that has been happening like crazy for the last month, right? I'm like, and this, and this, and this, and I'm writing it down, and I'm calling people, and I'm like, just keeping it fun and keeping it cool. And I'm like, there's some possibilities for a lot of people around this country to be involved in this thing, and that's kind of all I can say. So,
no, I get it, man.
I mean,
I get it, dude. That's kind of what we do with the act thing. It's like I can go to a fucking town and have two guys and then fly one guy out with me, and it could be the different lineup because it's a quote unquote all-star tribute band. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's really smart, and although that's one end of the spectrum, I think our idea is somewhere in the middle of that. Yeah. I'll talk to you after we're offline. Now, you're sure that we're not on video, right?
Correct.
It's just you and I that can see each other, because I might be doing illegal things.
Well, would you like? Here. Well, it's legal here. I'll join you. Somebody left this in my car, so I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, you got an oil pen. Kick ass.
Yeah, sure, whatever. You know me. I don't even like weed.
Hey,
dude, go ahead.
Before we go any further, dude, I really want to tell you on my dime here that I'm really proud of you, man, for. I don't know how many people really know Tommy Izzy. I'm sorry if I call you Tommy.
No, dude. When Happy was on, he called me Tommy the whole fucking time. So it's all good, man. Yeah.
It's like he was a bartender at the Press Bar, and he was just one of the fucking guys. He could barely fucking talk or hold a guitar, and now he just packed up and moved out there, and it's fucking rad as fuck, dude. It's like, I know you're hungry, but there's a lot more to life than food and fucking money. There really is, and you're living the dream, dude. It's fucking killer.
Dude, thanks, man. I appreciate
you're like
that.
Hanging out with some of my heroes, Alex Kane and Doug Pinnick, and Kotzen's not a hero, but he's a god. You know what I mean? So it's like hanging with Nuno and all that shit. It's like, it's super cool, man. You're in the meat of it, and I love it.
Dude, I tell you, it was the weirdest, most gayest thing ever.
Not that there's anything wrong with being gay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. So we're on the Monsters of Rock cruise, and we're watching Kotzen, and I'm very into his fucking music, right? His solo shit. And because it moves me. It really fucking moves me. And my buddy Brian Ott, who I do the karaoke with on the boat, who you might know from back.
Hell yeah.
Totally. He's the same way. And I'm standing there and I'm watching, and I'm starting to well up, watching Kotzen play. Then all of a sudden, somebody grabs my hand and starts holding my hand, and I look over, and it's Brian. And we just kind of had this look, and we're both crying, holding hands, watching Kotzen. Yeah, it was so awesome. It was great.
I am on board with you 100%, man. I've shed tears at shows before, and it's so embarrassing, and it's just, you're just overwhelmed with how great it is.
Yeah,
it's not about a sad song or a sad lyric or my friend died when he was listening to this song. It's like I've never been able to see Jeanette without tears running down my face, no matter what. Concrete Blonde a million times, and Pretty and Twisted, and her solo thing, and it just, every single time my fucking body's covered in goosebumps, and it's like,
dude, that's how I was talking to her for an hour and a half.
Yeah. You did great, though, man.
Dude, thank you so much. So this is the thing. We've known each other for a long time, and we've worked together. I've worked for you. I worked for Hairball. We've never sat down and done a long form interview. I remember in college we did. I gave you something and you just
mostly writing stuff.
It was mostly writing, and then one time right after you joined Hairball, I think we had you on 101 when I was on 101.
Yep.
But let's go back. Let's get into some freaky history, some Randy history. So you know, a lot of people that might not know all this shit about you. You grew up in Sauk Rapids, or you went to Sauk Rapids High School, correct?
St. Cloud, the whole area.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, that's
literally,
what I meant, yeah.
We moved every year, so I hit just about every grade school and every high school in the area.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean,
including John 23rd and Cathedral, which were the Catholic high
Wait a minute. Wait. See, I didn't know you. That's where I went. That's where I graduated from. I didn't know you went
from Cathedral.
I graduated from Cathedral. Yeah.
You know, I had to have known that over the years and just kind of forgot it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to John 23rd, and then I think I went 9th and half of 10th, and then I went to Tech after that. But yeah, I went to high school with the V's, the Bobby V's kids, and. Yeah, it was creepy, man. Did they have that tunnel that went under the street?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that creepy?
Oh, it was great in the fucking wintertime. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. I used to split out of school. Like my last year I was there, every day me and two of my friends would sneak out the back and run to Waldo's and play Xenon and 8-Ball Deluxe and pinball all day long. That's all we did.
And it's funny because you're one of the many people that the reason we've bonded is over, of course, KISS. So it just kind of fits in that I have you on KISS Weekend. Anybody that's waiting for Bruce Kulick, that interview will be coming up in about, I don't know, whenever us two are done, I'll be playing the Bruce Kulick interview, which I recorded this afternoon, who is actually in Vegas now. We had a whole conversation. He lives in Vegas. He moved to Vegas.
Yeah, Hairball just played Henderson, which is a suburb.
Yeah.
And a few months ago, and they put signs up on the city streets, like these huge, like the light poles on the streets, and they had Hairball banners on them, and one of them was Bob being Gene, close up of his face, and Bruce took a picture of it and sent it to all of us.
Oh, dude, that Bruce has got to be the nicest fucking guy in the world, you know?
Right. Just amazing player, super fucking cool, and he's like real.
Yeah,
like real, not like nice, real, like when he played with us, he did the Myth show with us a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And he's up on stage during sound check. He's like, Jesus Christ, you guys are fucking loud. Can't you turn? KISS was never this loud on stage. KISS was never this loud. And me and Happy were just like high-fiving each other behind his back. We're like, wow, that's cool. But we toned it down a little bit for him, and then he actually cranked up a little bit for us. So
nice.
We met in the middle, and he just fucking shredded. We did Domino. I sang Domino with him.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I think we did like 5 or 6 KISS tunes that were like, I think, Creatures and War Machine. There's some really cool. So I didn't know it was KISS Week, dude. That's so rad.
Yeah, it just kind of happened. I was like, well, fuck. I'm meeting Paul Stanley tomorrow. We're doing the non-makeup countdown tomorrow on Thursday. It's like, fuck it. I just called it KISS Week. So it was fucking worked out so perfect. Oh, we got some. Go ahead.
Did you get something with Paul finalized? Like, have you talked to his people, or are you just going in cold and hoping to get to him?
Oh, no. He's got his book signing.
Sweet.
So the way they're fucking nice.
I got Monty Lee Wilkes' hat on him. Monty, our old sound man who passed away. I had his hat in the back of the bus the whole time, and when I left the band, I took it with, and now it's on my Gene Simmons.
Well, it looks like it belongs there.
Yeah, it really does.
Oh, God, we got some listener feedback already. Joe Regan, 19th Avenue checking in. Good things happen.
Joe?
Yeah. Good things happen to Joe from
Killer.
St. Cloud,
Hey,
Joe. Randy will be a huge success in whatever he wants to do. Let's see. Melissa saying, Mel Babe. Randy knew my uncle Danny still blows my mind. And
Danny.
Lisa, Melissa Johnson.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, Dan Jook. He's like my dad's best friend when I was growing up. We can't go there. I'll be here all night talking about that shit.
I know. This would be when you come down here. We'll just sit down and drink and bullshit.
Yeah. Well, that's what this
and broadcast it.
for.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And Lisa's saying, can't wait to see what you do. Best of luck. You have the right to follow your heart, or you are right to follow your heart. So there you go. You got some people behind you supporting what you're doing.
Well, that's a great segue. Let's promote SCOFF real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
It's just an acronym for something my girlfriend Faith and I came up with. This whole trip, this whole thing. She moved here from Portland in December on her birthday, December 8th. And we've just been doing nothing but writing songs and recording covers and coming up with all these harebrained ideas and just kind of projecting and putting out what we ideally want to do. And let's just see what roadblocks we come upon, and we'll take care of them as we go. But as we're talking about all this, I'm like, I need to keep all of my family and friends abreast of what the hell's going on. My mom doesn't even know that I quit Hairball until like 2 days ago.
Oh, wow.
And she saw my last show in Sartell, which is where I grew up, my stomping grounds. It's like, literally, you could throw a rock in any direction and hit a place I lived. And my cousins, people I went to high school with that I haven't seen in 20 plus years, like all these crazy people. And I had to bite my lip and tell them all that, So then the last show was actually 2 weeks after that in Alexandria, which is 45 minutes from Sartell, right?
Uh-huh.
But it was for a fireman's tribute or fundraiser. So it wasn't really... Nobody I knew really showed up, except the real diehard fans that were there. But I digress. We put together, when we were talking, we were like trying to put our names together, Faith and Freaky. And I just kind of came upon some kind of freaky faith. This is the thing we're going to do, man. We're just going to sell our shit. We're going to pack up. We're going to split. And we're going to see what happens. Why don't we document this? Why don't we film it? Why don't we Facebook, YouTube it? Because like I said, family and friends was like, am I going to call everybody individually? I don't want to send out a mass email that, tells everybody. It's like,
that's so impersonal.
If anyone gives a shit, just log into this page every once in a while. And of course I'm going to keep in touch with, but it's just, man, we wrote down a list of like pros and cons of doing this idea. And we went like in separate rooms of the house, and the next day we compared notes, and they were all exactly the same. And I'm sure they would be for anybody else. Yep. Like you do something like that, you lose your privacy, you lose your this, you come off kind of like an ego maniac, like, oh, you're filming yourself. Who gives a shit about your daily life and all these things? And it was like, you know what? There's just too many people that are tipping the scale in the direction of, I'd love to see what you guys are up to. You know what I mean? So it's like, that was enough of like really close friends that I respect a lot that came to me personally, and a few haven't responded to yet, which I will for sure in the next day. It's been overwhelming, dude. Seriously, it's like lifted me up from, am I fucking ruining my life by doing this, to, okay, you're making the right decision. You're not the first one to quit a job that makes a lot of money to pursue what you want to do. You're not the first one. The whole internet's full of people doing it. So why not?
Yeah, dude, life's too short, man. Life's too short to freeze your balls off.
Yeah, it really is. It's so depressing when you're in weather like you're in. I'm sure it gets fucking morbid at times, but to me, I can deal.
Yeah, only when it gets down to like 55 at night.
No. I mean when it's sweltering.
Oh, I love that shit.
Yeah,
I love
it.
Me. I love that shit. Everyone's, oh, it's so goddamn hot. It's like, you live in a fucking desert. What do you expect? Ow! Ah!
You can't grow shit in the desert.
Nothing grows here. Nothing's ever gonna grow here. See this? This is sand. Oh, my goodness, it was terrible.
I was so fortunate to see him before he died. It was so great.
Oh, you lucky bastard. I wish I had Craig Gass here to do the fucking Kinnison voice, because he is spot on with fucking Kinnison, man. Oh, God. Rock. Go for it.
Him and his Gene Simmons.
Oh, dude, his Gene Simmons is fucking great. Oh, gee. All of his fucking...
Bob from Hairball can do a great Paul Stanley, like just talking, and he doesn't overdo it. He just has it just right. And him and Craig Gass together would be like, holy fuck, dude.
I know. It's like the only thing I got is my fucking Sebastian. Dude, there was Jack Daniels in cocaine. But
have you had him on your show yet?
No, I've had his old bass player on, and we basically did Sebastian back and forth for about 10 minutes. It was annoying and hilarious.
Oh my God!
But
I don't know if he. Okay, I don't want to go off on a Sebastian tangent.
No, that's
trying
fine.
to keep my focus here.
That's
bro,
fine, dude.
You know,
have you ever had focus? I've never known you to keep your focus. Yeah, and I'm the same way.
It may be completely fucked up focus, but it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. Brian Richards checking in. Riff Raff bitches. I can still remember being in the mob to meet Paul Stanley at the KISS Convention Center, 95. Randy standing a few feet away from me, and some chick just screaming, riff raff, tell Randy I said hi.
Dude, that is such a killer story. Bob was at that KISS convention too, and his band, I can't remember if it was Strutter or which one. He had a couple of them. He was in the, I don't, whatever. But they were dressed up, and I remember seeing him around. It was before I knew him. And I stood up and asked the question, and I videotaped the whole thing too. You know? Walked around and videotaped the original painting of Destroyer and Love Gun. It's like, holy fucking shit, it's right there, man. Peter Chris's drum kit from Alive. It's like right there. And then they did the autograph signing, and I brought Gene Solo CD instead of the record. What a dope. And I brought this really cool old rare Gene Simmons poster that's like a total one-off I found in Denver a million years ago. And then on Iceman, Ibanez Iceman guitar, but it was a bolt-on from the 70s. It wasn't a Paul Stanley, but it was really cool. And I put the mirrored accessories on it, like the tailpiece and the pickguard and the truss rod cover and shit from a Iceman. And I opened it up in front of Paul to have him sign it. He was just, dude, I was such a little bitch. I was so nervous. And I was like, you know, this is way before any of this stuff now where you can see KISS at the shopping center if you happen to be there on the right day, you know. There's no mystique anymore. It was just like, but there it was. And he's like, hey, man, where do you want me to sign it? And I'm like, oh, fuck. Wherever you want, dude. And then he signs it, and he says, he shakes my hand in the fist shake, you know, the bro shake, and he's holding on to it, and he goes, make sure and get that clear-coated properly because the wrong way will make it run, and otherwise it'll wear off. And I was like, dude, and I didn't even hear what he said. I only saw it on the video later. But because in my brain, I wasn't listening to him. I just wanted to tell him how much he meant to me. Like every KISS guy does. I was just like, that's the first and foremost thing I want him to know is how amazing I think he is. Yeah. You know, and I held on his hand a little too long. He gave me the nervous look. He gave me the slightly like, I'm not going to have to call security, am I? And then I just shook his hand. I looked in his eye and I said, no, I really mean it. Thank you. And then I walked away. And it's like, that's literally what he hears every single day of his life.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's funny. My story from that day is completely different. I got everybody's autograph and I was waiting for Paul. And I got right up there and he's signing for all these chicks. Then he starts walking away like he's leaving. And I'm like, dude, I've been waiting for this all my life. And he turns around with the pout, he signs the hat and then he just disappears. Well, the next day, and I know you've heard this story, the Gene elevator story.
Refresh me.
All right, I'll tell it again for everybody that's listening.
This is the next day, right?
This is the next day.
In the same hotel.
Same hotel. Same hotel as the convention. Elevator opens up. I'm going down to get a Mountain Dew, and Gene's
pop.
It's always going to be pop. And Gene's in the fucking elevator, and I almost shit myself. He's like, "Come on in." I'm like, "Okay," and we ended up going down. And we sat down on this chair or on this couch together, and we're having a conversation. I'm trying to have a conversation with Gene Simmons. It's just can you find a certain show in the video vault? He's like, it's impossible, or whatever. Like, okay. And this chick comes up, And he goes, excuse me. I'm like, oh, this is over. He stands up and he gives her a hug. He goes, hi. She goes, hi, how are you? He's like, I'm fine. How are you? She's like, I'm good. He goes, did you get laid last night? She goes, yeah, did you? He goes, of course. It's like, that's so classic Gene, right? And then, well, while this is happening, you know, Eric comes walking out and Bruce comes walking out, and they're like hanging out by the fucking front desk because they're all meeting there to leave. And by this time, people had figured out that they were down there. So it just started filling up with people. And how people found out, I have no fucking idea, because there's no
cell phone, right?
It's pre-cell phone. It's pre-Facebook. You can't text it. Dude, they're fucking down here right now, dude. It's fucking KISS. And
well, most of the people stayed in the hotel, so once word got around,
exactly.
The maids were probably telling people, Gene Simmons downstairs.
So everybody's waiting around the elevator because they know eventually Paul Stanley's going to come walking out, right? So I have my KISS hat, and some dude let me borrow his fucking silver Sharpie, and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting in the mob by the elevator, and all of a sudden, there it is. Like, the doors of heaven open up, and there's fucking Paul Stanley. He's got his sunglasses on. His hair's all fucked up. He's got his KISS bomber jacket on with the big middle finger on the back. You know, remember that one? And he just gets swarmed, and it's like he just does one of these. He's like, and he starts signing. And the same thing. He walks right fucking by me, and I said the exact same thing. Dude, I've been waiting for this all my fucking life. And he turns around and he signs the hat, biggest fucking autograph on the hat, and disappears.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease, man.
Oh, my God. So I've never officially met Paul Stanley.
Right.
But I will tomorrow night.
Dude, that's really cool. Super, super cool. Next time we get together, I say this to every one of my friends that I haven't talked to since this Hairball thing started, because it's really been, not complaining whatsoever, but it's kind of check out of real life, and you're just with your comrades and try to get as much done in the real life as you can during the week. And what was my point? What were we talking about?
I have no idea. I was fucking telling the Paul Stanley story. They're like, next time we get together.
So what I wanted to say was that every time I talk to like Stretch or Stibbs was over the other night. Actually, he just texted me. He's supposed to be coming over. And all these guys, I'm just like, I haven't been able to tell you guys stories of like when we did that show in Vegas and Phoenix with Alice and Joe Jett, and Dee Snider and Rob Zombie and Europe and fucking Cinderella. Seriously, it's like that was the Super Bowl for us in Hairball. Like
Absolutely.
When it was happening, we were like, this is literally the Super Bowl, and whatever happens after this is just going to be cake. But I mean, the stories of rehearsing with all those guys, like each guy had like an hour to an hour and a half booked with us all day long to rehearse all their songs. And it's like, there's some amazing stories.
I can imagine. I heard a good story about that, but I can't tell it on the air.
Most of them I can't. I never would tell on the air because it's like idols of mine, heroes of mine, and it was their idiosyncrasies and shit like that and things that happen. I would never say that online or in the press. But you and me drunk in a bar, fuck yeah, dude.
Let's switch gears. One of the bands that ended up being my second favorite band of all time behind KISS was Flip, and you turned me on to Flip. This is
Paulie.
Me and Paulie, and this is before you were in the band. It's like I was still working at the press.
Me too, man.
Yeah. And you were playing at the press, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing over here? Flip is next door. Come with me. So you drag me next door to see Flip. And ironically, I found one of these on eBay.
Yeah, bro.
I need more.
Dude. Okay. For the listeners, he's holding up the old pink fuchsia, hot fuchsia and silver glitter metallic Flip sticker that we had in the day, the oval, like silver, metallic, really gnarly, coolest stickers in the world. I have an entire sheet of them uncut.
I know you do.
Is that what you're wanting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cut off some of those motherfuckers.
Yeah, man. I should cut them in strips and then just sell them out.
Dude, I paid $13 for that on eBay.
Oh. Totally worth it.
Oh,
and
I know.
The lunch box. Dude, I got the cereal box sitting right there.
I got all that shit behind me right now.
That's killer. Yeah.
What was
I just
it?
talked to Kilo today, bro.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Kilo called me today on Kai's birthday, and I Facebook chatted with Kai last night, Chia, for at least 45 minutes. He's got me working on some super secret project. And I swear to God, I can't tell you because I'm doing it literally right now as I'm taking a break to talk to you. But he will let it be known soon. And it's really cool. It's Flip related, brand related, Kai and whatever. But yeah, Kilo called me to just say, hey, how you doing after Hairball? Tell me about it. How you feeling? Making sure everything's cool. It's fucking great, man. Totally cool.
Dude, it's so funny. I was driving Lyft one night, and I get this request. It said Kai. I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no way. You know, there's more than one person named Kai in this fucking world. So
I don't think there is.
So I pull up, and sure enough, there's that bald-ass head. And I roll the window down as I'm pulling up. I go, hello, you crazy sick fucker. And he just looks at me. He starts walking up to the car. He's like, is he? Are you my Lyft driver? I'm like, yeah.
Dude, that is so rad.
I know.
Please tell me you didn't take him home and drop him off. You guys went somewhere and had a drink.
No, actually, I gave him 2 rides. I had to drive him to the Comedy Store, and then I had to drive him to a car, and then I had to drive him home. So he ordered another ride after I dropped him off.
Okay.
But it was late at night. I mean, it was after 2. But what was it like for you? First, being a fan of the band, and all of a sudden, bam, it's like you're the bass player.
It was really Eric Carr-ish. Dude, everything ties into
It's
Kiss,
all Kiss.
Man.
It's always Kiss.
It really, man, if I say something that pisses off some diehard Kiss fans or some Eric Carr fans, I'm totally sorry. This is just a matter of opinion, man. This is like bitching at someone for saying they like that kind of blue instead of that kind of blue. But when Eric Carr joined Kiss, I was really butthurt. And I was like, same with Vinny when Vinny played. I have diaries written of the first, like when this all happened with all these members, I have diaries written down of shit, newspaper clippings and writing in my journal right after the concert. Like I was at the show when the Plasmatics opened for him that time. Wow. And the Peters brothers interviewed him and did that anti-rock thing where they were burning records and all that shit. I was at that show, man. I actually have the audio cassette of that interview with the Peters brothers, and he's like, and now we're walking backstage to go talk to Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley of Kiss, these 2 Catholic brothers that were condemning rock and roll, and they're walking down, and they're documenting on their cassette recorder them walking down the hall, and they go, oh, we just passed Miss Wendy O. Williams, the lead singer of the band The Plasmatics. She's wearing electrical tape covering up just enough of her nipples to not get arrested. And yeah, I got all that on cassette. Super cool. And then they talked to Kiss and talked to Gene, and Gene's really smart and kind of talks them out of their religion.
Of course he does. Gnarly. Of course, dude.
But joining Flip, yeah, for sure. It was like that. In that, God, I'm the biggest fan in the world of this band, and I told Bryn a long time ago I knew every song on guitar, I knew every song on bass, and I knew every song on drums. And if anybody breaks their leg, God forbid, I want to replace them. It was just that simple. I was in love with that fucking band. Like the very, very first time they played Minneapolis at the Caboose, I recorded it on my DAT recorder. I just had this portable DAT recorder. Yeah. And that's how I got to talk to Brent again, because I knew him from when he was in Obsession. When I came up playing guitar in St. Cloud, Dino's Ballroom, Avon Ballroom, all these bands like Chameleon and Dare Force and Rocking Horse and Obsession and Paradox and
fucking Slave Raider.
Yeah, Slave Raider came a little bit later.
Okay.
Obsession had their heyday, and then some things happened, and then Slave Raider kind of moved in there, and yeah, it was so fucking amazingly cool, man. There's so many killer bands and so many killer players. It's like this town really should have been in LA. Back in that day. It just needed a manager. What it needed was a manager, just to tweak some things. Is like, but
dude,
yeah.
I get it.
I got in, and everything was great. And the same thing really happened with Flip with Hairball. It was just like I got to a point where I was like, I knew that was Bryn's band the day I joined it, and it's like I'm a minion, 100%, bro. But it ran that course, and it was like, okay, I want to do something else, and I put Useless together and
Surly Jones,
yeah,
which was awesome. I loved Surly Jones.
They were 100% loved gigs, man. It was all about I just need to play music and fucking have fun for a little bit, and see what happens. And goddamn, good times out of both.
I know, dude.
You worked for both bands.
I
endlessly.
did. I
and the
did.
Dead Cowboys.
And the Dead Cowboys. That's right. I was actually thinking about stealing that name for for this new project I'm putting together, but there's already another.
Please do.
There's
Please
already
do,
another Dead Cowboys.
I have a fucking box full of 300 T-shirts of Dead Cowboy T-shirts, and I could use them. So put a project together called the Dead Cowboys, please.
All right, cool. If we get signed, we'll have to trademark the name. But,
I got hoodies. I got whatever you need, man.
Dude, Dude, you realize this is the fucking best Three Sides of the Coin episode that will never happen?
God, those guys are amazing, right?
Oh, I know.
It's so crazy how people have just followed their passion, and look what happens.
I know.
It's like when you don't have to deal with some phony fucking bullshit, and you can just do what you're good at, and you're allowed to make mistakes and grow from them. Like when I put this studio together, dude, I made like a list of rules, and I put them on the wall for a little while. And rule number 1 was there are no rules, and then rule number 2 was yes, there are rules, and here they are. And it was just stupid and silly. And then one of them was mistakes are encouraged and actually rewarded. It's like when magic happens, it's usually from going outside what you think you should be doing, And it's like, to embrace that is, and most people that are successful at it do it dumbfoundedly. You know what I mean? I'm just doing it. I'm just doing what the fuck I do. All of a sudden someone's like, I like what you do, man. That's cool. Well, good.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's about. Let's see. Melissa says, hold on, we've got more. Oh, shit.
And by the way, that was never compromised in Hairball for me. It was, I would never anything other than 100% myself. And that's, I got myself in a lot of trouble because of it. But, it was us against the world, and it still is. And I wish those guys all the best, and I want to kiss them on their buttholes.
Oh, my God. Rockville checking in.
Rockville, Minnesota?
Yep.
I lived in Rockville.
I've been drunk at Stoney's many times.
I've never been to that bar.
Oh, dude, it's great. It's like the press when it was old, like back in the day. It's just dingy and awesome.
Hey, man, raise a glass to Diz.
I know, dude.
Here's to Diz, the owner of the press. One of them.
God, that's been a couple years now, hasn't it?
What a sweet, sweet man.
Great.
Well,
dude.
That's how long it's been since we've talked.
Yeah, no shit. Let's see. Duluth loves rock and roll. Go for it, Randy. Let's
Duluth?
See. Duluth. This is a very Minnesota heavy fucking episode. I'm okay with it.
I like it.
Melissa says I still have my lunchbox and the nail polish and the Band-Aid. Oh, very well. I still got the middle finger too. Let's see.
Oh my God, dude! You want to hear a great story?
Please.
About Little Fingers.
Yes.
When we were on tour with Everclear, we rented a bus from a dude, and Dan Stressman was in the crew. God, I hope I don't forget anybody that was there. Whatever. This is going to be a chapter in my book. But we were playing somewhere in Texas. And as we're pulling into the venue, I'm hanging my head outside the window of the bus, just looking around, and I noticed some liquid leaking behind the bus. And I'm like, I ran up to the front and I told the bus driver, I go, we're leaking something. And we stopped the bus and pulled up. We were like 20 yards away from where the bus should stop to load out. And that's when we had all the gear and the merch in the bay of the bus. We didn't have a trailer. Well, we did have a trailer, but we still had to put shit in there. Anyway. They're tracking down where this leak is coming from, and it turns out it's coming from the toilet. It's the piss, and if anybody knows anything about tour buses, you don't shit in the tour bus.
Correct.
So there was no shit in it, but there was many, many, many miles of piss in that thing, and it fucking was just running out like a faucet on full blast, dude. I have it on video actually on a little flip phone thing. So Stressman and one of the other crew guys is out there. Literally, piss is like running down their legs, and they're pulling the merch out, and those foam fingers were in there, and they were soaked in piss. So they were all ruined, and they threw the box out, and the box fell apart, and there was all these red giant foam middle fingers covered in fucking flip piss. I'm like, don't throw them away. Let them dry out, and we'll sell them as scratch and sniffs.
No wonder mine stinks. What the fuck?
Yeah, bro.
To stick with the KISS vibe, I mean, fuck, you got to work with Bill Coyne.
Sweetest man in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
He really was. First time I met him, we all went out drinking, and he had a fancy for me, so he was treating me like the apparently he had a thing for bass players, and there's like stories about him and the guy from UFO, Pete way over there. I'm not making this up. It's all internet fucking gossip and shit. But whatever. I didn't give a shit about that. But I really knew what it felt like to be like a girl in a company where the leader, the CEO or the boss, like tells the guys all the business stuff and then turns and looks at the girl and says, right, we should have a drink, huh? And then turns back at the guys and says, well, our stocks are down a little bit here, and I think we should do it. And then turns back at the girl and grabs her ass and says, why don't you fetch us some shots? That's what he was doing to me, dude. In downtown Minneapolis. I don't remember what club it was. But yeah, and it just got worse from there. And then the next day, we met him again, and it started happening again. I just took him aside and I said, dude, I got too much fucking respect for you to go this route. I go, I whatever. We had a conversation about it, and it was really fucking cool. And ever since then, dude, I talked to him at least once a month, I bet. And he was such a sweet, sweet man. And just fucking smart as all fuck, and technology. Like, he had the newest phone all the time, and he was always showing me how to do shit on my phone and stuff. Dude, speaking of KISS Week, Flip, we went to New York City to meet with the guys from Hollywood Records who we were signed with at the time. Danny Goldman, is it? No, it couldn't be Danny Goldman. He's I don't remember the name, but it was somebody at the head of Hollywood Records we were meeting with and deciding what the plan for the band was. Uh-huh. And in the meantime, and Bill was going with us, and in the meantime, Bill's like, hey, I got this video transferred onto a DVD. I think you might want to see it. And I'm like, what is it? And he goes, it's the very first show that KISS ever filmed, that we ever filmed.
Wow. That's right. You told me about it. At Coventry. Yeah.
Yeah. Bill actually told me that he was in his... Dude, at that time, that was the biggest thing that could ever happen in the world of KISS, was releasing that. When it eventually came out, it was like on... History or something, right? The box set DVD thing, and it was just like side 4. Yeah. Really insignificant. But at the time, it was like, and Bill told me and Bren way back when we first started working with him that he had they were Sony 1-inch black and white tapes, and if you could find somebody to transfer it, he would give us a copy of it. You know, if we promised not to give it out, he would give us a first. And he eventually found someone in New York to do it. So he had it. So while we're in this conference room waiting for these people from the record label to come in and talk to us, and we're in full gear. The whole time we were in New York, we were in full garb. I had my mohawk up, fucking silver pants, platform boots, the whole shit. And while we're waiting for the people to come up, I see a fucking DVD player in the conference room with a TV. And I go, Bill, give me that fucking DVD. And he did. And he put it in, and we were the first fucking humans in the world to see it after it was transferred.
Wow.
I have that on flip phone video as well. I bet we watched about a total of maybe 3 minutes of it. We were just like skipping through it. And I know Bryn was like torn because his whole career and his band and shit was having this meeting that, was about the next big step. And I'm just losing my fucking mind because he's got this on video, You can see Lydia Chris dancing in front with this other girl and all the banter and the tuning between songs. And dude, I filmed it with my flip phone, but I told Bill about it the next day, and I didn't show anyone or send it. I said, I just want you to know that I filmed it, and I promise I'll never ever show it. But now I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I can show it. But dude, that was like, I felt so bad for Bryn. He was like half losing his shit over this and half losing his shit over that. And so the next day I made sure and played it for him again. And then, yeah. And Bill actually told me, him and Roman, his boyfriend, Roman. Hi, Roman, if you're listening. Still love the death out of him. He had an advertising agency that I actually did a lot of freelance work for. And he told me that he wanted me, and Bill told me they wanted me to work on the display packaging for that show, for the DVD release of that. Like, if you can come up with a really solid idea to present to Paul and Gene. So I actually came across those notes the other day, dude. I had like this Game of Thrones kind of looking display case with the, album hovering in the middle, and it's got all this shit, all these notes, and the three of us actually went through them, and then, life went another direction or whatever. And then Bill gave the stuff to Paul and Gene. It was like, he wasn't, I mean, as far as I know, I hope nobody comes after me for saying the wrong thing. This is just my perception of how things went down. He was like, just got to the point where it wasn't that big of a deal anymore, and they were just going to put it on the other thing. But
gotcha. Well, I don't know if you listened to Trunk at all, but like a couple months ago when he had Steve Vai at the Rainbow, Steve Vai was talking about how he's got tapes of like the show that they did for the record companies,
like a private record company thing.
Yeah, he's got like
Steve Vai?
Steve Vai has it, yeah.
Why would he care?
Because he was there.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, he's not a Kiss collector. God.
No. It's like he's, in the words of Don Jameson, Vai walks around, he just pulls like those velvet ropes. He has like those in his pocket. And just walks around with them around him.
Like Johnny Depp.
Yeah, like Johnny Depp was the nicest fucking dude when I met him.
Don't get me started on him. I still, if I had a gun to my head and had to do a guy, he'd be the one. I swear. It's like, and then the second would probably be Joe Perry, and third probably Alice Cooper. That's why I don't go see those guys.
Oh, Faith says garage sale, flip stickers, extra gear, the hot rod.
Oh, yeah, God, we're going to have the biggest garage sale. So, yeah, like we talked about Scoff, that's going to be my hub, me and Faith's hub for all connections, some kind of freaky faith, SKOFF. Just search it on Facebook. And what's funny about Scoff, dude, you'll get this. Like, I came up with it, I'm like, some kind of freaky faith. Wow, that's cool. That's how we're kind of living, some kind of freaky faith. And then I thought of the acronym SKOFF, and I'm like, Scoff. I go, that doesn't sound very good, or it doesn't roll off the tongue that well. It's not very, I don't know. And then I looked it up, and the British interpretation of it is a stage in a journey.
Ah, interesting.
And it also
comes together.
It also means to eat eagerly. Right? When you were a kid, didn't your mom say, don't scoff that down?
Yeah.
But didn't you think she said scarf?
Yes.
Right? So
scoff.
I think it was British. It was scoff. Don't scoff your food. And then it got, it got misinterpreted and turned into don't scarf down your food. So, yeah. So we're sticking with it.
Speaking of selling stuff, that's a great point to say. The first half of the show is brought to you by Beater Amplification, ladies and gentlemen. Beater Amplification, there's 2 E's. Oh, my God. Hand-wired, hand-built, amazing goddamn amplifiers. 3 channels. You get your Metallica tone, your old-school AC/DC tone, and your clean-ass Fender tone. 100 watts of testicular fortitude. Pull your 2 tubes, and you have yourself a 50. These things are fucking amazing. Check them out. BeaterAmplification.com. And they are based out of Mankato. So, based out of Mankato.
Sweet.
Yeah, dude. They're fucking killer, man. Ross. Yeah. Do you know Ross Engie?
Name doesn't ring a bell.
Dude, well, that's the guy that does them, and he said the motherboard on my signature model is done. and that's geeking me out, man.
Dude, you have a signature model amp coming out?
Yeah.
Dude.
I know. It geeks me out just thinking about it. Let's see. Oh my God. David says Straight Up was good too. I'm assuming that was a band.
Yeah. That was a little bit before my time, actually. Straight Up was, I remember my mom used to work at bars back in the day and in town. She was actually a bouncer at a couple bars, and Straight Up was kind of the shit when that was going on. I remember them. And what was the other St. Cloud band? God damn it.
The one that
Switch. When
and
they first started, Jim Tasto actually had a band before Switch. I can't remember it. But
I can't believe Switch is still going on and there's no Tasco involved.
I know.
It's like Kiss without Gene and Paul.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, there could be a year's worth of shows to do just about the St. Cloud connection. That's
absolutely.
Like the actual St. Cloud native
dudes
that have got done like from meeting the president and Eddie Van Halen and Mick Jagger and Keith to just every talk show, everyone's made their rounds, and it's really fucking interesting.
I know. We'll get a stretch in on the next one.
And Billy
and yeah.
Yeah, and the V Boys that played for Paul McCartney and
oh my God,
Joey from Badfinger lives in Minnetonka. It's like
David says
Joe Mullen.
David says Essence was before Switch.
Yeah, dude, nice call. That was I saw him at the skating rink at the skating place. The home of my very first public performance was at the Crossroads.
The fucking Crossroads Center.
Yep,
I love it.
Dude, Kiss Week, right?
Kiss Week.
I set up my clear Vista lights in the middle of the Crossroads Mall for a talent show, and I had my mother and my aunt help me with the costume, and I made a Peter Criss outfit, and I did my makeup, and I went to the mall, and I went to the record store in the mall. There was a stereo shop, and I said, if I hang a sign that says the name of your company, will you let me use a stereo so I can play drums along to it? And they said, sure. So they brought it down and they set up a big, like a Marantz stereo system with these big home speakers, facing at the crowd on the stage. And then I had to play drums to that. I didn't have no monitors. I could barely hear it. Actually just played the cassette, and I played Detroit Rock City.
Nice.
In a just regular talent show. So like the next talent was a little girl tap dancing. The one after that was a little kid being a comedian. And the one after, you know what I mean? It was like, so when I got up to do my shit, that whole mall filled up with people.
Really?
They just heard a fucking drum set racking.
I suppose.
You know what I mean?
I suppose.
And they all gathered around, and I won first prize, and I won a 10-speed bike that was yellow. Matches your old car.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, my God.
First ever in public thing. And then the second one was the skating place, playing guitar and singing, doing I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett. And everybody in the talent contest had to wear roller skates. At least one. So our drummer had to wear one roller skate.
Oh, shit.
He used it on his hi-hat foot. That was John Kipka, in case John's listening out there.
Oh, my God. Well, I don't know how better to wrap it up. You got a Kiss. That's a Kiss-related story to wrap up your interview on Kiss Week.
Shut this fucking guy
Let's
up.
shut this down. I got to go to break. Randy, it was so great to fucking talk to you, man. I miss you so much.
Totally, bro. Totally.
So when are you planning to venture out west?
We're projecting mid-fall. Ideally,
oh, okay.
That would be great.
I think I'm going to try to get back this summer, and then I think we might be planning an AC Midwestern fall tour. So,
I got
I'll
weekends
be back.
off now, bro.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Just buttoning up things around here and trying to create as much as possible. We'll be letting everybody know plans as we go. I just figured this is such a great way to network, dude. It's like, most of the people on here, I'm going to call them anyway and say, hey, do you know anybody that does this or does that? would you be interested in this? Or what do you think about this? What's your opinion? You know, it's like, why not just fucking, what am I gonna, you know, someone's gonna steal my brilliant idea? It's like, nothing's brilliant about any of my ideas. It's just how you fucking pull them off, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
And I just like to have as many people involved as possible, because I just know, and I'm friends with too many insanely creative people.
Yep. Dude, I know the feeling, man. Randy Freaky Engebritson. Dude,
Thanks for having me, bro.
Dude, I'm going to play this Bruce Kulick interview, and then after the show, I'll drop you a text and so we can say goodbye properly off the air. But thanks for being on, man. It really means a lot. It was really great to catch up.
Hey, it felt great when you asked me, man, for reals.
Beautiful. All right, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, party on, bro.
All right, Randy Engebritson, everybody. Coming up in just a minute and a half, we will have Bruce Kulick from KISS in a pre-recorded interview. I know a lot of you have been waiting for that patiently through this amazing, fun conversation with the one and only Randy Engebritson. It is another fucking podcast. RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
Retro Arcade brings Minnesota and surrounding areas arcade games from the days gone by. All of those great games from pizza joints and arcades are available in cocktail units and custom machines. Dozens of favorites from your youth in one machine to complete your game room or man cave. Retro Arcade also sells and services your favorite pinball machines. Find them at facebook.com/80arcade. That's facebook.com/80arcade. Retro Arcade. Your youth is just one click away.
If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band, or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
All right, and we are back. Second half of the show brought to you by A&P Laser Productions, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are so good, they can even laser engrave a hot dog bun. That's right, folks. Hit them up, aplasers.com. Mother's Day is coming up. You want to get her something nice. You want to get her something special and unique. aplasers.com. And, of course, John Palumbo Design. We love us some John Palumbo. John Palumbo, you need a website, you need a graphic, you need anything, you hit up John Palumbo. Design.com. And welcoming back to the show somebody I'm proud to call an acquaintance. And we had a good show that only got broadcast for part of it, unfortunately. But Bruce Kulick is joining us once again. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you. How's it going?
Dude, it's going great. I was so bummed. We had such a great interview at that last at that live event, and
right. And there were a lot of technical problems, but that's what happens.
You know, it is what it is. Shit happens. But so how's everything going, man? You're out in Vegas now.
Yes, do enjoy living out here, and obviously, you know, I travel so much, so it's got a nice airport.
Oh yeah, no
what can
shit.
I say? You know. But basically, you know, I'm still business as usual. Obviously, moving was which happened mostly during last year. But I'm still, you know, really kind of settling in and making my home, you know, what I want it to be, and it's pretty exciting actually. Both Lisa and I are, you know, very happy about it. But I don't lose sight on, of course, my you know, career and all the things that I need to be taken care of. So
right. Well, that's obviously the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I suppose if you're able to avoid the vices of Vegas, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, it's funny, you know. I have to thank Brent Fitz and Todd Kearns a lot for some encouragement about Vegas, because they knew that I was not happy in LA. And when I knew that I couldn't leave LA because I was very close with my mother, who I lost just over about a year ago, a little over a year ago, she lived till 93, which was a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I was very blessed. But honestly, I knew two sides of Vegas. There was the Strip and the usual, debauchery of Las Vegas, 24-hour wildness and the whole thing.
Yep.
And I wasn't really ever keen on that because, look, I grew up in New York. All that I don't like to gamble or do any of that kind of stuff anyway. Never did. The idea of the entertainment business is exciting, of course, and that's here.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also this whole other part of Vegas, which was much more suburbia. Kind of, there's a large area called Henderson where the Green Valley Ranch is, which is also a beautiful casino, hotel, and everything, where I got to play. And I'd be driving there, which is not even it's like 20 minutes from the Strip.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, where am I? This is amazing. You get what I mean? And then that's where Brent really was hammering me, and so was Todd about, I think you'd really enjoy it out there. We're not talking about living on, the Strip on Las Vegas Boulevard. It's so Lisa and I, exactly just over a year ago is when we came out here to look, and we fell in love with, I kind of knew some of this area in Henderson that I liked. And I have some friends that lived here, so they gave me a lot of information. So, we put the, plan in motion, and here we are.
And, those guys are in your, is it an actual solo band, or is it just for the cruises, or, how does that work?
It's a great question. Right. Okay. It's a lot of it that's dictated is obviously everybody's commitments. I was very fortunate on the cruise 2 years ago first to do it with my brother, and Todd and Brent were the natural choices. It really was an amazing performance. The following year was just me with Todd and Brent, and then we got this guy, Zach Throne, who lives here in Vegas too, who is another one of those guys like Todd, can play bass or guitar and sings like a bird, okay?
Yeah.
Or like a Gene Simmons, okay?
Right,
or, you know what I mean? And I had, of course, Todd always singing stuff from my era of KISS very well before, but he played bass when we did the gigs with my brother. So now he's moved back to guitar so that Zach could play bass. And whether or not you want to call it the Bruce Kulick Band, these are the guys that I want to do gigs when we can. So that's the other part of it, okay? It was definitely put together so I'd have a quality band for such a unique opportunity, meaning the KISS Cruise. What better place to play KISS music, right?
Right, exactly.
Especially in my era,
Yeah, for sure.
It was not a hard thing for me to figure out a great set with those guys. And then the year before, of course, the set with my brother was unique because he got to do some of, we performed his era as well. So,
yeah.
I have so many songs. So, I could be doing this. I'm on the KISS Cruise 9 that's coming up this year, and I could actually do songs I didn't touch on either of those cruises, and still people would be blown away because there's enough material from my era. Because why would I want to play Detroit Rock City or Strutter or something? There's no need,
Exactly.
But getting back to your point, I'm in Grand Funk Railroad. You've known that, Izzy.
Yep.
I've been in the band for 19 years. This is our 19th year of touring. It's the 50th anniversary of the band. We're still kicking ass. We probably have more gigs this year than your average year. We've been doing arena dates with Seeger, not consistently. We just pick up 3 here, 3 there, but there's always the casinos and the city festivals and the state fairs and all that stuff that this band seems to get. And I love playing with those guys. Don and Mel are amazing. And that's my gig. So if I wanted to say, and it is possible, and I have worked it out, they've been very kind to me. Let's say there was a strong offer from Australia, okay, and everybody was available, and it only would take up 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's possible I could do that, okay? Not always, because our Grand Funk thing, we fly. So we do fly dates. That means we can work any weekend, any month of the year,
Mm-hmm.
We also don't carry a huge production like KISS that it's got to be mapped out, and they got to do a ton of dates, okay? Because you can't do it. You can't do one-offs like that. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
So our thing is we can fly out very easily, and the production's really a sign. And we have a backline company that shows up with our gear, and that's how we do a gig. Because you're not looking for hydraulics and lasers and pyro. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So then you got Brent and Slash with Slash and Todd.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep.
With Slash. So they can't be scratching my eyes out saying, like, come on, let's book some gigs. They, even last year, they knew that Slash was going to get tremendously busy as soon as he had a break with Guns N' Roses. I cannot believe the schedule. They started this year with 2.5 months straight, like 30 countries, insane stuff. And now they're on this South American jaunt, okay? Unbelievable. Slash just wants to play all the time. And then on the downtime between gigs, Slash wants to write and record with the guys, Mm-hmm. So that even on their break that they had, where I thought, maybe we can get together, not so much to do a gig, maybe we could record something, because that would be definitely on the horizon for me with those guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I have some originals. Todd and I have been talking. We could always even just cover Sword and Stone. It was never put out properly, correct?
Yep.
And that's a great Kiss song that never was released, but all the fans know it, and it went over like insane on the cruise.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I have to respect the fact that all of a sudden Slash calls him up and said, like, I need you out here for 10 days in LA. Let's work on some material. Boom, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been the problem. Quite honestly, we're all very busy with our respective bands, but that's not to lose sight that I'm aware that I have a desire. They fantasize something, more structured that we could do. And even if it's just short bursts of some work where we were able to do a 10-day run and hit the Northeast or something, in
Mm-hmm.
America, or go to Australia or do something in South America. I really do want to, I'm very much looking forward to those opportunities. But I've already just told them, look, we all know I'm busy, you're busy, and this couldn't happen until the end of, maybe towards the end of the year when we're, the last quarter of the year when we're gearing up for the cruise, and then we see what else we could do. Okay. But I want to do more with these guys, and whether or not I want to call it, Bruce Kulick Band or just whatever, you get what I mean? I'm thrilled to be backed by those guys, and they're not only super talented, but they were also very, very keen on what my career is and what could be done, and that's very, very exciting for me.
I don't know if you knew this, but Mr. Zach Throne once played drums in my Ace Frehley tribute band.
He didn't know that.
Yeah, he filled in when we played in Vegas because Chad from Pussycat got stuck. There was a fire on the 15, so they couldn't make it up. So Zach filled in.
He did tell me that he played drums, but I didn't really remember it until you just said it. That's so crazy. Because he's a great singer, and then he plays bass great and guitar great. A lot of gigs he gets are actually guitar gigs, not bass. But I've jammed with him usually when we used to do stuff in Vegas and the cover stuff, and we would do some Kiss songs. He'd be the bass player. So, yeah, it's really, really exciting. We're all in the same town. That's pretty cool.
Is it weird for you to realize that you've been in Grand Funk longer than you were in Kiss?
Yeah, I mean, I eclipsed that many years ago.
Right.
But I have to admit, you see, they're very different. Here I was in Kiss. I don't have to remind you. I'm a featured fourth guy of the band. You know what I mean? On the album, we're doing videos, we're doing big tours. There's new records coming out, and the Grand Funk gig is that ultimate, where you're playing great music with talented guys.
Yep.
But it's not the same era. And there's a lot of bands like this, from Blue Oyster Cult to Night Ranger to even some of the bigger ones like a Journey or Foreigner, that they're just out there doing the music that people want to hear. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about, a video and a new album every year, and what I was doing with Kiss. So they're very different types of gigs, but they're still ultimately me performing and playing guitar. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. No,
and it can go on forever. My REO friend, Dave Amato, he's been there like It's probably close to 30 years already he's been with that. That's insane.
Oh, I know, dude. It's unbelievable that these bands are still going. I mean, it's great. It's freaking great.
Yeah, and they're good, and people want to see them.
Yeah, so. Exactly. I mean, it's like Trunk always says, it's about the logo. It's about the logo and the music now, you know? Obviously, one of the reasons I wanted to get you on is because you've got your red vinyl coming out, which is going to be available on the 18th, correct?
Right. And let me explain this. I'll give you the bigger view. Yeah, I put out, the record originally came out in 2010, the CD BK3, which still, in many ways, I feel like people are still discovering it. I didn't do vinyl until 2000, I think it was 15 or so, and I just did a regular, not the 180 gram, a black, vinyl, and that was it. But that got me to meet a guy named Tom Shannon, who is the authority of KISS vinyl. He's put out these beautiful, detailed books with the catalogs explaining every variation of every KISS album. Guy's a total vinyl genius, and he's got a great site, Kiss My Wax, on Facebook. It's a great site. So he did like a limited, I didn't have much stock left of that original batch that I ordered of the black, but I gave him like about 86 or so, and he made a deluxe version of the black one. Obi sleeve, which is like that kind of like a belt that the Japanese like to put on around it, and a couple other goodies involved with it, certificate, hologram, whatever. But I realized a few years later, I need to, I'm really attracted. I sold out of that. I should do a red vinyl. And then Tom, right away from the beginning, told me, do 180 gram, make some changes on the packaging, and go ahead and sell it on your website. I think it's going to do well. So after about, I would say like at least 150 of them sold, it started to slow down. I wasn't getting aggressive about it. Can I tell you what a pain in the ass vinyl is to show?
I can just imagine. I can just imagine.
Bringing it to an event is not fun either, but I will say it's crazy. So I reminded Tom, I said, at a certain point, and it's maybe sooner than later, I'd love us to do like the ultimate deluxe version of this one. You know what I mean? So I decided that I was going to save 300 for him, and 60 of them will be exclusive on May 11th and 12th at the Indy KISS Expo, which is always the big kahuna of KISS Expos every year in Indianapolis. But the rest, the other 240, are all available on May 18th from that therockologist.com, which is his website that talks about all the special releases. He's done some amazing stuff for Ace Frehley as well with packaging his vinyl. I'm very honored to work with this guy because he's the real deal. But let me tell you what people will get with this version compared to mine, okay? My original one that I offered, which of course I took down because I want people now to just buy this. Okay?
Right, of course.
But they're all signed, and there's a certificate, or authentic from the Rock College. Do you know what it's like signing 300 albums and taking them all apart?
I'm not that famous, so I do not.
Yeah. It's a lot of work. You got to do it like 60 at a time. You know what I mean? And then because taking apart the vinyl, and they're all shrink wrapped. You know what I mean? I had a whole factory going on here in my dining room.
Lisa, help!
Yeah, she was very helpful. So then, the custom OBI for it, which is that OB sleeve, which is amazing. But and I got the graphic guy that I use for a lot of my personal stuff involved, and he had the treasure chest of everything artistic from me, because I went to my drive, anything that was done from the photo shoots of BK3, from Niels Lozauer, who's brilliant, to Tom Germain, who's very well known for a lot of work on the KISS box set and KISS. He did the new KISS, the end of the road tour, tour book. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Tom has hands in many big bands, graphic arts. The real deal. So I have all those files that he did for BK3. I had every photo sent to my friend Michael. His name is Michael Edwards. He does this as a hobby, but he's great with Photoshop, and he loves KISS, so he gets it. And we did a Google Drive thing where I shared all this stuff with him, so we could put together the ultimate booklet. And the booklet's not like a CD booklet, which always suffers from real estate, right?
Yep.
This one's big. It's the size of a record. You know what I mean? It fits in a record, so it's a large folding booklet, and in that are, you see backgrounds of lyrics, you see all the photos from the sessions that I did with my guest artists, from Kenny Aronoff to Doug Feiger from the Knack to Eric Singer that we all know, and then to Gene Simmons and Brent and John Corabi, to Steve Lukather, to Tobias Salmon. So you get the vibe. Okay?
Yeah.
Because I shared that story online, but it's a little different when it's printed out on something that comes with the album. Okay, I'm a vinyl junkie. I have every Beatle one, and I got into. There's so much rock stuff I collected through the years. I had to give. And years ago, I got rid of a lot of stuff that I considered to be stuff, but I still probably have, like 800 records in my home, and that's nothing. Guys that have thousands. Okay.
Oh, I know, dude.
But it gets crazy, But I always enjoyed, when the Beatles did the White Album. Oh, well, you got that insert. You know what I mean? You got the poster. You got the. You get what I mean? Sgt. Pepper, the cutouts. You get what I mean. So Tom Shannon knows this. And he knows what feeds the collectors. So this one is really, really special. Some of the booklets will be signed as well. I provided him all with different guitar picks for each one that's sold, and I'm going to put in a couple of little golden ticket ones, like a really unusual one that's from my collection that it left over from the earlier release of it, right?
Oh, cool.
We're putting a little advertisement for my merch sheet to drive everybody to brucekulick.com, because I'm always going to be offering different things through the years. And then there's another surprise that he's putting in all these packages that I haven't physically seen it, though I know what it's going to be, so I'm not going to give it away yet. But Tom he's got a fresh approach of how he looks at his product, so I think all the fans will really, really, really like it, because it's another thing you can hold and collect. Even though it's related to my product, it would be related to all his products.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So,
right.
So it's exciting.
I wish I could do a Gene voice, because I would say, Bruce, I have taught you well.
Yeah.
You've learned the sales pitch very, very well. This thing sounds amazing.
I did read that off of like a sheet that I have, okay? Because I go I know it's loaded with a lot of stuff, but I forget all the details. But I got to tell you, I mean, it was painstakingly reviewed and redone. By the way, in that booklet, I know I talked about pictures and everything, but I tell the story. I tell a very personal story of what this record means to me. I do a little, chat about each kind of like each song, what it was like to have those guest artists on the album, and what the whole experience meant to me to make this record, so it's something I'm still very proud of. Now, I know collectors want it because it's collectible, but I think there'll be some people for the first time, that's their introduction to the record, and man, they're getting like an incredible way to, because it's got just so many elements to look at and hold, and then with the story and the photos, it's really going to tell a big picture of something that I'm proud of. So
well, Bruce,
I'm excited about it.
I'm not going to lie. I just started listening to that record on iTunes about a half an hour ago, and I fucking love it. So
thank you.
And now, of course, the big question is, how much is this record going to cost?
So what's funny? We did want to keep it reasonable, okay? And I thought, we came up with a great price. It's $60.
That's not bad.
That. No,
that's not bad at all.
With all those goodies. And I think we charged more for the other deluxe black version, maybe just $5 more. But part of it was Tom wanted so much quantity. It was easier for me to give him a great price. Shipping them all to him was crazy, but I did it professionally. In fact, the last boxes arrived at his home today. I just got notifications from the Postal Service about it. So it's very exciting. These were like gold. Every time, I'd work on it with Lisa at our leisure in the home. It was crazy. I package it like, how do I say? I felt like I was putting gold. It was, you get. I don't know if you've seen how they ship vinyl. Like when you go to the place to pick it up, or they ship it to you. Usually it's sturdy in a box. It's a very sturdy box.
Right.
But if I think you're all well aware. If something's not floated in another box, look out. You know what I mean? So each one of these boxes of 30 were in an electronic box. Now, electronic box is like a really thick 20 by 20 by 8 box that, people ship turntables in, a receiver, hence they call it an electronic box.
Right.
Because it doesn't have to be very tall, but it has to be fucking sturdy, if I can say that. Okay.
It's called another fucking podcast.
Yeah, there you go. So, getting those boxes, kind of, you get what I mean? It was like shipping gold. So I'm just so excited that they were there, because I remember about 4 nights ago having a little anxiety attack and saying to Lisa, like, I'm really worried about all those records. You know how important it is that Tom gets them in one piece and they arrive, because he's going to start taking orders on the 18th. And I know him. The 60 at Indy on the 11th and 12th, that's easy, because they were shipped out immediately as soon as we knew. I knew like, okay, that's the only ones we need to take care of immediately. But now he has them all. I'm very excited about it. So he could take the orders, and I'm obviously hoping that they go quickly. And last thing on the vinyl, and then we can move on to something else. I'll give you a little more time since I've been such a salesman here. I was totally blown away. I told you about the special version of the black one, right? And granted, there was less than 100 of them, but Tom shared with me in eBay, it was probably 6 months after we offered it, that there was an auction for one. And somebody paid it was nearly $300. I was out of my mind when I saw it. You know what I mean? Somebody had to have it.
Yep, that's the way it is.
And that's not my intent here. You buy it for 60. I don't care if you sell it for 600. It's yours. You know what I mean?
Right.
I sell people guitars sometimes, and I could be very fair with certain ones that I either, there's not a big connection to it, or it didn't cost me much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So they're buying something for $500 that then they want to turn around and maybe offer it to somebody for $1,000 because it was mine. But whatever you want, it's yours. You do what you want with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I heard you on 3 Sides this week, and that's why I'm like, God damn it, I got to get Bruce on to talk about the record. But you were talking about Elvis. And of course, I'm a huge Elvis geek.
Yep.
As a guitar player, are you more James Burton, or are you more Scotty Moore?
They're both great.
Yeah.
Really, really great. I mean, obviously, just the tone and what both of them contributed is very different than Kiss guitar playing or even Grand Funk. But super talented guys who knew how to make a Telecaster, find that voice in his material. So, and there's one casino that we always play in Biloxi. It's the Hard Rock down in Biloxi. Mm-hmm. And they have, I'm pretty sure it's Scotty Moore's very rare Gibson hollow body that I remembered that he used with Elvis. So I always pop into the it's in the VIP check-in room, and I always walk in there and stare at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just realize there's history right there.
It's not the Super 400 from the.
No,
okay.
It's not that one.
Okay, because that one
I think is somewhere else.
That's in Memphis at the Hard Rock.
Memphis, yeah,
it's at the Hard Rock.
Memphis one. No, this is the it's an all gold 295.
Okay, that one. Gotcha.
Is the one that's there. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, that's the one.
Did you know that he traded that '68 comeback guitar for a tractor?
I knew he got rid of it, but I didn't know what for. Okay. Yeah. Look, I regret every guitar I let go of. But,
me too.
I will admit, usually for me, it's about money for something that I can enjoy. You know what I'm saying? I know lately I had to reduce my guitar inventory. I had at one point, I was close to 200 about 3 or 4 years ago, and my financial guy was like, and he's a guitar player too, a good one. And he was like, dude, you're out of your mind. This is you can't enjoy all these. You know what I mean? Well, Joe Bonamassa, I think, has 400, but I was like, you're right. It's getting ridiculous.
Right.
I can't even get to that SG or that acoustic because it's 5 deep. You know what I mean? So, so I'm actually down to under 100 now, and it feels great. And I've let go of quite a few. And believe me, they're all like my babies and all, but I always find them great homes. And then the money that I'm able to, get from that turns into a fantastic, like a new air conditioner for my home.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it's a fair, trade-off, especially when you need to use that every day. And maybe I don't need to, use that guitar every day.
Right.
So
it's funny because I asked Ace, and he did one of these Q&As here, and in Hollywood, and the question was, is like, do you have a guitar that you regret selling? He goes, no, because I sell one guitar, I could buy a Mercedes. You know, just
he's done trade. I think there was a great story about one of his bursts that he just pawned for. Like, you want to go, for a wild weekend or something is the way the story went. You know what I mean? And it was one, like, back then it might have only been worth $5,000, but now it's like $250,000. You know what I mean? So you got to look at all that. But yeah, I don't want to get into the guitar story. It's oh my
insane. God, this
fun though.
That's another 2-hour long episode.
Yeah, of course.
So we can finish up with the expo this weekend. Obviously the record is going to be available. Are you performing or are you just appearing?
Yes, I'm very excited to talk about both. Obviously, in Indy, those guys, this guy Keith and Steve, they're wonderful. The promoters, they've been doing this for years. Actually, last year was the 20th. So, this year it's Tommy Thayer is going to be there. Myself, John Karabi's the other guest. I am bringing my wife, Lisa, along, which I'll explain in a moment also, because I have performed with her before. We love doing the KISS stuff. But, I know there'll be a meet and greet opportunity with me and Tommy. And I get in Saturday night, so I'm not sure exactly. I might be able to sit in with somebody and actually even get up and jam a little bit Saturday night. But I have to fly from a Grand Funk gig on Saturday morning. But Sunday's my day, the second day. And what's exciting is I know at 5 o'clock right now the schedule looks like after a day of photos and signing and all that. John and I will do a mini set of songs from the Union period, which is very exciting because we haven't done it in a long time. There'll be a little bit of KISS in there too because we've always liked doing like Beth and stuff like that. So, but then I've been practicing some songs with Lisa, some stuff that Lisa and I have never done before because we've covered some of my hits like Tears Are Falling and Who Wants to Be Lonely and Reason to Live at a couple of events. And we even got booked for a corporate gig from a guy that's a big KISS fan. But I want to do some songs from Unplugged with her that night.
Oh, nice.
So after John, and I already talked about it with John, and I said, hey, let's not get crazy because I'm not going to be able to rehearse with you. You know what I mean? I'm not. I'm flying in Saturday. He'll be there, the whole weekend. But so he said, yeah, let's just do how's these like 5 or 6. I said, great. I'll practice those. We'll do them like we always did. And then I want to bring Lisa up and do some songs at this time. So he said, that's cool. That sounds great. So I'm working on a few special songs from Unplugged that I don't know. Lately, I've talked about Unplugged a lot, even though it's not necessarily a big anniversary. I think March kind of was because it came out like it was a March release, even though we filmed it and did the performance in October, but of '95. But then it came out in '96. But wow, what a great record! And the more I love it, studying it with and looking at it with Lisa, I realized, man, we were in our prime. And then the irony of that was my last gig with the band.
Yeah, dude. I mean that era right there. I always thought Paul sounded that was his absolute best.
Really, we owned it. And Eric, I realized how great his vocals were supporting with Gene and all, and how tight we were, and that we were invincible, man. Now, do I, fault them going into and bringing out Ace and Peter? Well, part of that was MTV didn't even want to do it unless they were involved, believe it or not. So, and there it is. And then that put all the offers on the table, the fact that they were talking again and they were going to do a performance, then the reunion tour, and the rest is history, as you know.
Absolutely. Just really quick before we go, what do you remember about performing with Garth Brooks on The Tonight Show?
Wow, it's interesting because I listened to that not long ago. Well, look, and I'll give you a nice scoop, okay? When we went down to record the song for the Kiss My Ass album, which never really got a whole lot of attention, to be honest. I think that was it was a little odd. I mean, there were some really good artists on it, but Garth, they were really excited about it. And that's the only one that we actually worked with the artists.
Correct.
The others were just like handed in. So we went down to Nashville. I was quite excited to be in one of those really interesting Nashville studios. They're pretty iconic, They're on they're usually older houses on a famous, Music Row or something they call it.
Right.
So there's Garth. Couldn't be a nicer guy. This guy is incredible. Okay. And you knew, back then he was like, he was on
God
top of
the world
in the country. Yeah. And the next thing you know, we're getting ready to record, and I realized I didn't really know those guitar parts, and I wasn't around then. We've never really covered that song before, and I was really embarrassed to the fact that Paul knew them. And Paul said, it goes like this. And I just looked at him. I said, you're going to have to play it, because I didn't do my homework. I just didn't. So I was like devastated that I didn't really know all the parts. And I don't know what was going on in my life right then that I didn't come prepared. But Paul played those, night, da 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 da, all the lines and everything. So you better know that by the time I was going to go do that on the Tonight Show with Garth Brooks, I knew them like I wrote them. Okay, you get what I'm saying? So that was it was very bittersweet. I was crushed but it was my fault. I own it. Paul did the right thing. He didn't go on record and say and by the way, Bruce didn't play on it.
Right.
But I don't mind talking about it, because it was another lesson in life that I learned. Dude, you can't just show up and expect to, think that you can wing it when we're trying to do a really sincere version of that song. It's a classic.
Right.
So it's funny, because I do enjoy doing it, but I always have this little nervous thing about it. You know what I mean? I realize I could see myself back in the studio making a fool of myself in front of the band and Garth Brooks, and I remember going back to the hotel room going that's not like me, but it happened. And I got to learn that, and that's one of the things I try to teach with people, to always be prepared and do the best you can. And if you don't know, don't be shy to say, "Hey, I can't figure out this riff."
Right.
And then ask someone that knows to help you. That's all.
Absolutely. Just before I let you go, you want to pimp where people can get the record and for the expo again?
Right. So, well, there is a website for the expo, and I think it's called KissArmyWarehouse.com, which is, if you just Google Indie Expo 2019, it's going to pop up. The internet's pretty damn smart. And it's going to be a great time. Anybody that can, the great thing about Indy is centrally located for a lot of people in the Midwest, and they really know how to put on a great weekend expo. So you got to come to that. And then the website for how to get that special edition of my red 180 gram vinyl, which actually weighs even more than 180. I weighed it a few times. is therockcologist.com, and it's on my website. Like right now, if you try to go to brucekulick.com to order that in the merch page, you'll see visit. It doesn't really show all the details that I shared with you, because I didn't really have the graphics and I didn't want to give away anything. After the 18th, I'll probably add some of those kind of that information. But my website, I post always those guitars of the month, the KISS Guitar of the Month, and I do little updates on my Facebook, which is the official Bruce Kulick. So everyone knows how to reach me. I don't want to hear that I don't know how to get a message to you. It's amazing all the stuff that people share, a unique guitar, or they want to show me, hey, I think I learned Hide Your Heart solo. Let me share it with you. I love that interaction. The downside is the times they ask for something that's just kind of awkward for me, and I have to ignore it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I remember, Bruce. I remember at the when you guys did the convention tour in Minneapolis. Somebody asked how much money you had in your bank account.
I didn't handle it very well.
No,
too,
you didn't.
I could have said, but how much money do you have in your bank account?
Right.
So I was another egg on face, and I know I'm sure I just had one of those days that I just wasn't in a good mood, so I used the silly question, So in front of my bosses, who are multimillionaires, you're going to ask me how much money I have? You get what I mean?
Right.
Well, that was before the internet, when you can say, look at one of those bogus sites that say, Bruce Kulick's net worth, or Tommy Thayer's net worth, or Eric Singer's net worth. I get a kick out of those. Oh my God.
Right. Absolutely.
But anyway,
Well, Bruce, dude, thank you so much. I always appreciate your time, and you're always so cordial and so nice, and I really appreciate it, and thank you.
Not a problem. Thanks again, and I always enjoy having a chat with you, so keep in touch.
There we go, kids. Bruce Kulick. What a great dude. Randy Engebritson. This is a fun show, man. KISS Week is underway. Gonna meet Paul Stanley tomorrow night. And Priya Panda will be on the show on Thursday with our, non-makeup record countdown. Ooh, I wonder what order they're going to be in. Oohs and ahs, Lars. Oohs and ahs. Wanted to get into Carnival of Souls with Bruce, but we decided that whole era is going to be a very long conversation. That's okay, because we'll have him back and we'll do it on around the time, some kind of anniversary for Carnival of Souls. So there you go. All right, kids. Make sure you do hit up all the social media. Like the show. Subscribe to the show on Spreaker if you're listening live. And subscribe on iTunes. Leave 5 stars. I'm a whore. I like, I like praise. And I hear my drummer roommate pounding away. Good times. So, it's been real. We'll see you on Thursday for the Izzy Presley Show. Kiss Week continues. Don't forget, why lacking talent, I make up for in cock.